Welcome, everybody, to the Cletus Roadside Service Podcast. I think I said that kind of wrong. Cletus Ray's, not plural, just in past tense. No, just that's a pronoun or some shit. Fuck verbs and stuff. Anyways, we're rolling. We're just in the truck. We're driving. We just got well, we haven't got loaded. It is 5:40 a.m. Technically, I could be loading right now and then get my paperwork signed at 6 in 20 minutes and then hit the fucking road. I'm not in a hurry today. Even though today would be like the hurry type day, I'm going to be perfectly fine. Because we used to not even like leave the shop until like 6:30 or 7, which is like, and then I would still make it in time. And now they extended the time an hour, so I have even another hour to spare to get to that all the way down to Winoka, offload, turn around, and head back up and hit up Wichita. Gonna stay in Wichita. Maybe, I don't know. I might decide to stay a little closer tonight, and then just because I'm gonna have all day tomorrow. Cut my day a little shorter today if I can. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do today. But I did not. So this is probably not a good thing. But I'm gonna, if I need it, if I need a break, I'm gonna pull over. But you know how some people go like really long without eating? It's called a fast. I'm doing this thing where you don't sleep. Just kidding. I'm not doing it on purpose. I guess kind of on purpose. Not on purpose. I'm just dumb. And I sit there. So I got kicked out of the bedroom because the dogs kept scratching the door and I kept growling. That's really just me not sleeping too good. Well, I'm sleeping great. I'm fucking passed the fuck out. But the wife doesn't like the snoring that I do, and she really don't like it when the dogs are scratching at the door. Now we got a new kennel coming, so maybe that'll help. But they're gonna bark. It's not cool. But whatever. So, anyways, I went out to the living room and I'm on the couch. I got all the dogs. Everybody's happy. And I just could not fucking sleep. I could not. I don't know what it is. I did take a little bit of a nap earlier in the day, and then I took like maybe a 20-minute nap, and that's being generous, at like 10:30 at night, and then I woke back up. Don't know what the hell's going on with me. I'm not tired. I should be tired, I guess, but I feel fine. I'm on my second coffee of the day. It's going to be a good one. Going to be a great day. Headed over to the power plant. Going to get loaded. And then head south. Head down to Oklahoma. And, but no, I wanted to, I don't know. I'm feeling a little energetic. So I was like, I might as well record Monday's episode now. It's going to take me about an hour to get over to where I need to be. Those people, that bar closed Saturday night, and there's still people at the bar. It is Monday morning. I don't know. Maybe they're just parked there being all weird. They look drunk as hell. Anyways, had an interesting weekend. And I also feel kind of dumb after this weekend. I got a little wiring problem. But let's not start there. Let's Friday, I got off work. It was kind of late. I got home, didn't do anything. Woke up Saturday morning and hung out with the kiddos. And then we went to a fair. We went to a fair at the church. It was a good time. My wife, she's been doing this workout routine thing that she's doing, and she said I'm pooped. I really don't want to go to a fair right now. She's like, I stink. I smell bad. I don't look good. I ain't going. And I said, come on. You'll be fine. There's going to be a bunch of stinky people at the fair. Or a carnival is what it was. But she denied it. So I took the kids myself. Um, that was a good time. We took the truck. I put 2 booster seats in the truck, and yeah, I'm going to need to get over you fuckheads. Come on. You guys can't block the whole highway like you do. Thank you. So, yeah, we go to the fair. We meet up with well, let's just say my parents. I don't want to say my mom and stepdad. I'm just going to say my parents. So, met up with my parents, and we had a great time. My mom took off with my daughter, me, and my father-in-law. No, my stepfather. Took my son around. We rode some rides. We looked. They had like a SWAT van out there, so there's policemen. They had like all the heavy armor and shit, and let the kids try to pick it up, and they can't, and whatnot. And they had the SWAT van. My son got up in the SWAT van. My phone was dead, so I didn't get any pictures. My wife is not happy about that. But I was like, I don't know. We were just in the moment. You had to be there. Sorry about that. You had to be there. Um, yeah, waited in line. It's a big event, and they had a bunch of stuff like blow up castles. We had to wait in like a 30-minute line. They had 50 blow up castles. We picked the shortest line, and it still took us a half an hour to get on the bouncy house. And then we waited for probably 40 minutes in another line. It was for like a bungee cord. They got a bungee cord and a harness, and you can jump on a trampoline and do flips and whatnot. And we waited 45 minutes to get in there, and we were still had a long ass way to go. And my son, he chickened out. He's like, he was watching other kids. He's like, I actually don't want to do that. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm not going to force you to do it, but that looks fun as hell. That looks really fun. I think you should do it. He's like, nope, I don't want to. I'm not getting on it. I said, all right, fine. We'll get out of line. Got out of line, got a hot dog and some other stuff. Let me chug this coffee, and then I'll be back. That coffee was a little hotter than I expected it to be, but I got it down. Now I got me a spitter I can use. Anyways, carnival, good time. Uh, it was at the church. My mom also works at the church. She accounts for the church, whatever that means. She like goes through all the bills and whatnot. Make sure people get paid, I guess, or whatever goes on. She takes care of it. What are we doing here, pickup truck? You're really fucking up the flow of traffic over here. You are fucking up the flow of traffic. Everybody's speeding except for you. You're fucking it up. He's probably limited by GPS or some shit. Poor guy. But you're really fucking everything up. Nobody likes you. Anyways, yeah, so it's for the church. So they had a big stage set up where I'm guessing they go say, oh, Jesus is so cool. Watch my guitar. Put your hands up in the sky. Whatnot. But they had rap dancers out there doing break dancing and whatnot. And my son was like, I want to watch. And so we watched. And we kind of caught the tail end of it, but it was pretty cool. And then strongmen came out, and I seen these guys over there. I was like, damn, are those guys going to break dance? What the hell's going on here? These are freaks of nature over here. This is crazy. Because they're like super duper strong looking guys. No, they were doing their own event, separate, after the rap dancing. And they were doing the strongman competition where they go out and they talk about how strong they are for Jesus. And they're like, look at this guy. He's going to lift up a log. We need a couple of first graders over here. And my daughter wasn't around, but my son was. And guess what? My son is in the first grade. So I said, go get over there. So he went over there, and another little girl went over there. And so this guy, he pulled out a bench, like the seat or whatever. And then they handled out this giant log that was cut into a bench press log, and then they set the kids on top of the bench press log, and this guy bench pressed them a bunch of times, and my son was amazed. Now, I really wanted to go over there and say, hey, let me give it a shot. I'm not strong, but I want to see if I could. I think that's a fake log. It's got to be a fake log, you know? Maybe it was a real log. I don't know. But don't put the kids on it. Let me just see if I can do the log. I want to see if I can do that fucking log, man. Because I've picked up some logs in the past. Uh, I don't think I've shocked anybody by doing that, but I have picked up some fucking logs. So hey, let me give it a shot. Let me give it a shot, bud. I don't know how much that log weighs, but I want to find out if I can pick it up. I want to see if I can bench press it. I know I would blow out my pectorals, and that motherfucking log would land on my face, and I would just embarrass myself in front of Jesus and everybody. It would be no good. My son would be like, Dad, I can't believe it. You're not strong. And I'd been like, I let you down, son. I let you down. Anyways, none of that happened. So after that, they were doing this like, hey, who wants to come up here and say they love Jesus? And a bunch of kids ran up there. And my son, he was one of the first ones to run up there. I was like, oh, my son, he's feeling the Holy Spirit, my boy. So he runs up there, raises his hand, does a little dance, does all the things. They're having a great time. And then they're like, hey, there's a prayer booth next door. Y'all need to go over there. They'll pray for you over there. So we went over there and we met Chad. And I don't know. So I'm not a super religious type of guy. I'm not holding anybody back, but I ain't pressuring anything on anybody neither. And I don't really like to be pressured on the contrary. Or I mean, contrary to that, I don't like to be pressured into religion and stuff. I feel like if at this point in my life, if religion is going to happen for me, it's going to happen for me. I don't need Chad at the prayer tent begging me to go to church on Sundays and Tuesdays and possibly Friday. I'm like, hey, whoa. He's like, we do this thing on Tuesday. What are you doing on Tuesday? I'm like, I'm out of town, man. I'm a truck driver. Oh, well, your son really needs somebody to help him. Help him with the Jesus. I was like, oh, look over there. My mom works here. And my stepdad also does a lot of stuff here. And they're like, he needs to be in the system. And my mom and stepdad are there. And they're like, they are in the system. They have been to church because my parents have taken them to church a couple of times. And I've been to their church once or twice. But anyways, he was really putting it on me, and he got my address out of me. He's like, I don't care if they're signed up through you guys; they need to be signed up at their house. So I was like, well, here's my address. Please don't ask me for my email. I will give you my junk email. The email that's only for like PlayStation receipts. I don't even play the PlayStation anymore. I'm never gonna check it. Please don't. I don't want. But hey, for my son, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here as a father. It's not that I don't. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm not. I see what mega churches are, and maybe I'm seeing the wrong side of it, but I've seen a lot of the wrong side of what like big churches are. I think little churches. Hey, they're there. I like them. They're pretty cool. I like the community feel. When you get to a gigantic, big ass church, it just feels like a money laundering operation. Yeah, you got to go up there and work every now and again. You gotta really pray for these people and make things right and blah 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 blah. But it's like I also know that humans do some even worse shit for money. Okay, so I don't know how this stuff works, but somebody's getting paid. They pass around that offering plate, and I've even had my stepdad. He's talked about it, and he's like, yeah, I give whatever the percentage of your paycheck that you're supposed to give to the. He's like, I give it every time. I'm like, what the fuck? Give it to me. Pray for me, but give me the money. I'm just kidding. I would never try to take his offering. That's his money. He can do what he wants with it. But he is super invested in the church. And he is also a super investor, I guess is what you could call it. But yeah, you got those TV pastors. Those guys are something else. They got the super duper mega church. They're like, call in here. Call in and give me your money. The Lord wants you to give me your money. I need a new jet. I need a jet. I can't fly private with the demons. There's demons on those planes. I can't fly private. I gotta fly private. I gotta own my own jet and whatnot. I don't know. I'm talking about that one pastor. You know who I'm talking about. The fucking devil looking guy. It's crazy that the devil looking guy is like the guy. I don't know what's going on over there. Now, I'm not saying anything of this is going on at my parents' church, but I know that I know of at least 3 people that have been kicked out of the church. I'll get into 2 of them. I'm not going to get into the other one, but I'll get into 2 of them. And this was the one time I went to the church. I went to the church. I was feeling the Jesus one day, so I said, all right, I'll go to church with you guys. I'll see what it's all about. Went to the church, and this was creepy as fuck. It was weird. It felt so weird. There was these 2 people. They went out on a mission trip or something. I don't know. It was basically a fuck fest. They went out, 2 married people without their spouses, went out on this fuck fest and fucked. I mean, I guess I kind of the punchline is gone now, but they were fucking. They were intercoursing over on Jesus land somewhere. And they said, you guys can't be doing that. Get the hell out of here. Now, that wasn't whenever I was there. But it was like a year ago or whatever. They were kicked out and they were begging to come back. And they actually went out and got married. They got divorced from their devil spouses, and they found love in each other. They found when the Jesus hit them over wherever they were camping, they just had to fuck. The Jesus got into them, and they had to fuck. Now they're married. Now they're good, but they were still banned from the church. But this specific church going ceremony that we went to, they were like, hey, if everybody wants to pray for them, come up here and tell them to keep fucking, I guess, because now they're married and they can come back to church and they can fuck in the church now because they're married and they're better now and their devil spouses are out of here. So I don't know. It's weird as fuck. It was very weird to see what the fuck is going on here. I was like, is this how it is? Do they do this often? And they're like, my parents are like, no, this has never happened. I'm like, holy shit, they fucked. They went out on a mission trip and they fucked. So, yeah, so everybody, like, I don't know, a bunch of the people went over there and crowded around them and prayed for them. And I don't know anything about anything after that. That was, that was before I had kids. Was the last time I went to the church. I did go to a small church once with my cousin. I have a girl cousin, and she has a really cool husband and really cool kids, and that's where I got my dog. My very first dog was from her. They live out in the middle of nowhere. They got a farm and whatnot. They got cool kids. They got dirt bikes. They're fun as fuck. And remember, it was 2013. I went over there and picked up my dog from them. This was before that, I think. I think where I heard about the dog was when I went to church. So she was like, we would love to have you come to our church. And so I went, and it was a tiny little church out in the middle of nowhere. And I mean, it was really small, and it was like an old schoolhouse looking deal. It was all like wooden, nailed down. You can't, like, they weren't like fold up chairs or anything. It was like old wood schoolhouse. I don't even know if there's a roof on the motherfucker. It was old as fuck. It looked like a playhouse, but it was just a really old schoolhouse church or whatever. I don't know. Went there. People were freaking me out whenever they're raising their hands and saying, Jesus. They're like screaming. Somebody brought out a bunch of snakes. They were like, touch the snake. I'm like, just kidding. There were no snakes. But that would have been fucking crazy. And I know sometimes that happens, but not for me, not this time. Unfortunately, that would have been really fucking, I'd have definitely ran the fuck out of that motherfucker. Or if people start speaking in tongues and whatnot. But I don't know, just whenever they're singing them songs and they're raising up their hands and the people are really feeling the Jesus, I don't know. I would love to feel the way they feel. But I feel like if I do it, I'm going to just start laughing. If I put my hands up in there and whatnot, I'm going to just start laughing. I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and head on out. This is getting a little freaky for me. I'm going to go. Don't want to sing, don't want to dance, don't want to raise my hands up. I don't know. I'm not doing that. I wouldn't even do that for AC/DC. Okay? So calm your tits. I'm not like trying to worship the devil over here. I just don't want to raise my hands and sing the goddamn songs. Now, I shouldn't have used that language when I'm talking about churches. It might offend some. But damn, I don't want to do that. Hey, how about we come here and you talk about what happened? What's going on there? Where's Jesus at? Oh, he's over there and over there. He's up there. He's down there. He's everywhere. All right. I'll try to grasp my mind around that Jesus is everywhere. What about God? What's he doing? Where's he at? What's he look like? You know, so cross, huh? Like, I don't know enough about the Jesus to criticize, and I'm probably just going to offend people if I try to talk about it. So I don't know. I just don't want to. I don't know. It's awkward. Don't want to deal with it. I don't. I feel. I feel. Um, I do feel like there's something going on, but I don't know what it is. So, anyways, there's my religious spiel to everybody. I'm not. I don't. I wouldn't say I'm atheist. I wouldn't say I'm. I guess the closest thing I would be Christian, but I don't. I think I'm just saying that because everybody else is. So I don't know. Do I want to follow everybody? Do I want to try to create my own religion? Just square body religion, just DR 650 religion. I don't know. What can that be a religion? I don't know. What if, I mean, my life is shaped and morphed around vehicles, and I need a religion that's all about that. Like, can we just talk about how to wire up a 5-pin relay, please, in church? That's what I need out of my church. I need to know how to wire up a 5-pin relay, blinkers, headlights. What's going on? Why do I have 3 wires? I mean, I'm talking to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is my sermon that I'm talking to. I think that's a thing. I don't know. But I got ChatGPT up, and it's over there. It's like saying, hey, you're out of messages. You used all your free religion passes today. Pay me. And I'm like, God dang, everybody wants me to pay them so I can ask questions about Jesus and 5-pin relays. What do I do with 87A? What the fuck do I do with 87A? Why is it there? What does it do? Come on, these are questions. about the universe. Anyways, if you could guess what I'm getting into as my next thing is I got home and I started working on the truck. This was last night, Sunday night. I got after doing some shit, going inside, taking a little nap, woke up and I said I'm gonna take the trash out, and that's how I get in the garage. So I'm gonna take the trash out. She's just so happy I'm doing something. Take the trash out, and then she'll never see me again. I'm out. I'm gone. I got the square box. I cleaned it out because I had shit everywhere from old wiring process. If you guys don't know, here we'll talk about it. I have a 1979 Chevy Scottsdale slash Cheyenne slash Big Ten slash I don't fucking know. It's a mixture of a bunch of trucks. It was cobbled together and it was used as a farm truck for a very long time. And then the guy bought it off of the farmer, got a title, questionable, but it works, and sent it up. I bought it from him for $1,800. Now there's a lot of little stories that go along with it. Like the '92 Chevy that I have now, I sold that to my brother. Took the funds from my brother to buy this truck. Bought this truck, took it home, had my car, and then my brother wanted to sell the 92, so I bought the 92 back from him. Kind of. I may have traded him a bow. He's brought it up. He said, "Hey, if you give me that bow, it's a Hoyt bow with a bunch of arrows and all the accessories and whatnot. If you give me that bow, I'll give you the truck," because he didn't like the truck. It was broke down. So I fixed it up and then drove it home from his house. And I don't know. It was our agreement. He's an adult. He said that's what he wanted. So, anyways, I have a 1979 Chevy truck. I took it home. I fired it up. I drove it around the block a few times. It had a lot of problems. It didn't have brakes. I put a new brake master cylinder on there. Sorry, I'm getting on the highway over here. Put a new brake master cylinder. Boom, got brakes. I bought new rims for it because I didn't like the rims that were on it. I kind of got ahead of myself. I probably should have spent that money on other things. But I bought new rims for it. Bought different tires for it. The tires are not good. They're all holding air for very long time. It's been sitting in my driveway for a very long time. All the tires are still aired up, so that's great. But the tires are not in good shape. One of them's bubbling out. So somebody smacked a curb with it, I'm guessing, and that's why I got them for a deal. It's because one of them is definitely not good, and they're all pretty worn the fuck out. So anyways, I had this great idea that I'm going to strip this truck naked. I'm naked and I'm stripping the truck. No, just kidding. I'm going to take every bit of wire out of this truck. Rip the dash out. Well, you can't because it's spot welded. I could, but I'm not doing that. I'm not going that far. Took everything out. Inside the cab, there was the steering column, and that's it. Everything else was bare metal. And seatbelts. I could not get the fucking seatbelts out. Those fucking things were a pain in the goddamn dick to get out. So I just left them in there. I said I can work around them. So anyways, pulled all the carpet, pulled everything, power washed the motherfucker out, and then I brought not my grinder. I burnt my grinder up, and I still have Luke's grinder. Thank you, Luke. If you need it back, I still got it. It's still in good shape. You can have it back. I do need to use it some more. So let me know, and I'll go buy me a new grinder, or just send me a message, say, hey, you can hold on to the grinder for a little bit more. I don't know. But anyways, I cut the floor pan out of the passenger side, all the rotted pieces. I cut all that shit out. I ripped all the wiring out. Front to back of that truck, I ripped every bit of wiring out of it. mostly. Um, and then I got this idea. So I don't know if you know what a 79 square body looks like on the inside, but the dash, I didn't want to use the same old cracked and bullshit dash bezel with the old fucking piece of shit gauges. I didn't have any trust in them, and I didn't have a tack. I had an external tack, but I didn't like that. So I bought a bunch of boat gauges, waterproof boat gauges that can wire up to a one cylinder to a fucking V12 if you want. I don't know. It's just anything for everything. It's pretty simple, what it is. So, anyways, I cut out some diamond plate. Luke helped me with the design and everything, but we got some diamond plate cut out and we got all these gauges mounted up. Started wiring up all these gauges. I had to redo all the wiring because all the wiring was chewed. It was chewed up here and there. I mean, it worked enough to drive the truck, but you had to hot wire the fucking thing to start it. So I was like, I'm just gonna rip all this shit out. Ripped all the HVAC out, all the vents, everything. So now underneath the dash, it's just support braces where that hold the dash. There's nothing else under there. I blocked off the hole for the blower motor in the firewall with another piece of diamond plate. Rewired everything up and redid the window switches because it's an old ass truck, but for some reason it's got power windows, power locks, pretty fucking cool. So I don't like power locks. I don't even like locks to begin with. I mean, I do like being able to lock my truck, but I've locked my keys. I had a square body in other trucks in the past. I've locked my keys in my truck so many fucking times that I don't want that to happen again. Even though there are no keys to this truck. I mean, the door key is the only key that I'm going to have because I'm not doing the key to ignition and none of that shit. So anyways, I went to the junkyard. I got a fuse box and some speakers, and I mounted the speakers because it only had one, that truck factory only had one speaker mounted in it in the center of the dash. I bought some new speakers. I mounted them in the door panels, made it look really fucking cool, I think, and wired the door switches to the middle of the dash. I made new aluminum trim for the. Why do I keep going this way even though this fucking road is closed up here? Maybe the road's open now. I don't know. But I've done this. This is the third time I've gone this way. And by the time I get up to where I need to be, it says road closed and I got to take a long fucking detour. Anyways, but back to the square body. Rewired everything. Got a new fuse box. I saved a bunch of the old wiring. I went through it to make sure it was still good because I can't afford a bunch of different colored wires and shit. So I just saved good lengths of the wires that I had, and I do have some other wire that I do, from other projects back in the day and whatnot. I got a bunch of shit. So anyways, rewired everything up to this fuse box that I got from the junkyard from a 96 Chevy truck because I thought it's going to have a ton of fuses, a ton of relays. I just cut, it was the one from under the dash, or under the hood, not under the dash. I didn't want that one. I just wanted one that had a bunch of spots because on those they got the 96. They got airbags, they got air conditioning, they got all different kinds of other shit that I'm not going to use at all. ABS, so they have a bunch of extra spots on them that I could use. Turns out, no, not really. I hooked power up to that fuse box, and the power's going only to like 6 different fuses, and I can get all the big fuses, the big ass fuses. And I think what happened was the lady wanted to charge me like $50 for all the fuses. So I just ripped all the fuses out right there at the counter, and I said, I'm not paying for all those fucking. I'm not paying you $50 for all the fuses. I thought they would come with the fuse box. She's like, no, I'm charging you for a bag of fuses and relays and whatnot. I'm like, God damn, you guys are really charging out the ass for this shit. I just ripped all that shit out. I should have thrown it in my fucking boot. and then brought it back and been like, oh yeah, I decided to put them all back. Sorry, here you go, just the fuse box. But I ripped them out there at the counter, which was not good because then I didn't have any relays and shit. But I still had this fuse box. I still had enough room to work with. So I went through and I labeled all the pigtails and I wired everything up, and I had everything wired up pretty fucking good. I used heat shrink soldering connectors. So I got a heat gun and you just heat it up and it solders it and shrink wraps it. Everything's great to go. So every wire that I put in there was really secured and really good. And but then I was having a problem because I took all the plug wires off and I put all the plug wires back on in the orientation that I've been taught my entire life, which is number one on the distributor cap points at number one cylinder. Whoever wired this thing up and put the distributor in the motor did it all. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They was all sorted. So I had to set it like 4 different times, and eventually me and Luke, we got it. But then the starter went out. We got it and it almost fired up and it sounded way better than it ever sounded before. But then the starter immediately went the fuck out. And I was like, God damn, like, son of a bitch. So I was I was telling the guy at work, he's a motorhead, and I was like, yeah, my starter went out. I need to figure out I need to go get a new starter and whatnot. Him, without me even asking, brought me a mini torque starter from one of his old hot rods. He said, I don't need this. It's just going to sit around for years, so you can have it. And I was like, no fucking way. So I got it, put it on the truck, and then I got it to fire up. Oh no. I did get it to fire up, but I needed shims because it was hitting the flywheel when the starter was retracted. It was still hitting the flywheel. So I had to shut all that shit down. And then I ordered a shim kit, and it took me a while, well, way too fucking long, to install the shim kit. But I did that just the other weekend, and I got it to fire up. Everything was great. I bought a new fuse box. I just got on Amazon. I looked for a fuse box. I was like, I want one with the relays in it. I found one that's got 6 fuses and 6 relays. Um, So that's what I ended up. This is where we're at now. The truck fired up and it would drive around, but I didn't. I didn't want to drive it around. There's no seat in it. The bench seat's still out. It's in the garage, and the bed is really full of junk. Like all the shit that I ripped out of that truck just got thrown in the bed, and it's been sitting there. It stinks. It's not good. I didn't want to drive it around. But anyways, last night, after I took the trash out, I grabbed the new fuse box and I went to the truck. I cleaned the truck out and I was getting ready to install it. That's when I noticed each of these fuses, the 6 fuses, are in conjunction with each relay. That sounds fine, but now, like my old fuse box that I got sitting here, uh, it was one wire. Power goes to the fucking fuse box. That powers up these 5 or 6 fuses, and then I figured out where those are, and then I started running those to all my different accessories. I got all my gauges are wired up as one. I got the coil wired up as one. The alternator is another one. I got the radio on one, and then I had some extra slots. I had other stuff going on, but I was thinking about adding a second fuse box to do the rest. Like all the headlights and stuff, I was going to put all those on their own block and everything. But I just bought this new fuse box, so I was like, I'm going to use this one. This one, it's all kind of wired up. It's got a nice little diagram and everything. But then I sit there and I'm like, I got 3 fucking wires for every relay. Well, 5 of them are a 5-pin relay, and one of them, the 6th one, is a 4-pin relay. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I'm like, where's all these wires going? I'm talking to ChatGPT. I called Luke. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Where do I put all these wires? What is going on, man? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm completely lost. But ChatGPT did tell me, and I kind of confirmed it later on, because whenever I got the truck to fire up, after putting the shim kit on and leaving it wired up the way it was, it turned on, it fired right up, everything was looking great, couldn't turn the motherfucker off. I have a big breaker switch that goes to the battery, goes down to the starter, and then the starter, from the starter, I have the big power wire coming up into the cab that goes to a big power switch. It's got a big ass fuse on it also. And then it goes to my big fucking switch, and then that after that it goes down to the fuse box. And whenever I thought if I turn off that big power switch, it would kill power to the coil. Wrong. Does not. It was backfeeding through the alternator. That's what ChatGPT told me. It said you need to put an LED or a diode or something in there because it'll backfeed. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I don't know. But I said, all right. So I found an LED light and a LED connector, and I wired it up, and then I was getting ready to start wiring up the fuse box, but I was still like asking ChatGPT. I'm like, what the fuck do I do with all these wires? I understand the little white wire goes to my switch, and the yellow wire goes to the accessories. So whenever I just have little wires going up to the dash, and all my little switches, I can hit them. But I'm gonna have to rewire like everything, and I'm gonna have to run, instead of running just one wire to everything. Now everything's gonna require 2, and I only have 6 fucking slots, which isn't a horrible problem, but it kind of limits me. So I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do here? Um, Anyways, I didn't really get too far at that point in time. I went inside, and this is where I started watching TV, and I was getting really into it. There's a Wiring Rescue, I think is a YouTube channel I've been watching, and I watched it a lot before. And I do remember the guy going through and saying, yeah, you need to use relays for everything. Use a 5-pin relay, because a 5-pin, you can turn a 5-pin into a 4-pin relay easy. You just don't use one of the wires. I totally forgot all of this information when I was sitting there trying to figure this shit out. But after I went inside and watched TV for a while, I was a little bit more confident in what I'm doing. Um, but I was getting into other stuff, because Wiring Rescue, he goes through anything and everything in several different ways and all this other shit. So, I don't know. I'm just going to watch his videos really closely and try to mimic all the stuff, because he's got like a pegboard that he zip ties everything to, and then goes through and has everything nicely laid out and labeled. He gets a starter and everything, and alternator and fuel pump and headlights and blinkers and tail lights and neutral safety switches, and everything is in there. And he has almost everything is hooked up to a relay. So I think I'm pretty confident with sitting there watching YouTube, watching the same YouTube video 1,000 fucking times. I think I can get this truck wired up. So I have a little bit more confidence now, but I don't know why I thought this was going to be exactly the same, just in a different fuse box and maybe a little bit better and cleaner looking. And it will be, but I think I'm going to need more than 6, because for him to wire up the headlights and taillights and blinkers and all that stuff, he used 4 5-pin connectors. So I'm like, holy shit. I only have fucking 5 of them available. And so I don't know. I need to wire up everything to the other one. But anyways, the way I want to wire this truck up is with the big power switch. Oh, I'm making a big turn here. I want to wire everything up so whenever I just turn the big power switch on, everything will power up. And then I have buttons, little LED light buttons, which I think are going to come in handy for like the resistor part. I can wire them in line, so nothing will be backfed or anything. I don't know where I'm putting the buttons or anything, but I got all the panels for the dash made. I just need to drill into it to figure out where everything's going to go. But I want a big power on switch and then a start button. But I guess these big power switches are normally mounted to the outside of the vehicle, which is fine. But I think I'm going to leave it inside the truck and just try to use that as my key, basically. Now, I don't know. I do want to figure out a way to make a unsuspecting key. So like not anybody can just walk up and take off with my truck. I was thinking about using some sort of a card or something, like a card, make a card. I don't know. My buddy Luke could probably help me out with it, and like I don't know, make like a metal card that's got like a plastic thing so you don't shock the fuck out of yourself whenever you plug it in, but just like cut a slit on top of the dash and just have this little card, slide it in there, and it will connect the power wire. So even if you get in there with the big switch and everything, you can't really do anything until you slide this card in. Or I don't know, something else. Maybe like a screwdriver. You just stick a screwdriver in there. I don't Something crazy. But I want to make it to where like if you don't have the right equipment or the right key, whatever that may be, it's not going to fire up. It's not going to work. But I don't really necessarily want a key. I don't want a bunch of keys and shit. I think if I had like a card or like a little key tag or something that hangs on my keys, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I want. I'm kind of up in the air with it right now. But the metal card idea, I really did think about that, and it's just basically like a breaker switch is what it is, or not a breaker switch, but just like whenever they have the I don't know what it is. I've seen it somewhere where it's just a big piece of metal on a hinge, and whenever you close it, it connects the 2 points. I think you could do that with the card. But yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like after watching these videos, I'm getting back inspired with the truck. And I mean, once I go outside and I start messing with it, it's hard to get me off of it, which is great because that'll keep me into it and interested and everything. And I think this truck would be a lot of fun in the winter time. And we're getting close up to winter. Even if I don't get the lights and everything working quite yet, I think it would still be fun. But I don't think wiring the lights up is going to take, you know, it's not going to put me off that far. But I don't know. If I could get the lights on it, I could go get it inspected, wink, wink, and then get it tagged and titled and everything. Well, it already is titled. It's titled in my name. But if I could get everything done with it to where I can drive this truck on the road, uh, and everything works, it's all legal. I got my license plate light. I got my blinkers and everything. I think it would be a lot of fun this winter. Now, that's where it brings me to. I removed the heater core, so all those lines are gone now. I gotta plug them up, or no, they aren't plugged up. I just have the line that comes off of, where does that line come from? It comes out of the radiator and goes to the heater core, and then the other one comes out of the heater core and goes into the engine. And I just have those hooked together, so it's a kind of a closed area. Anyways, I might put the heater core back in because it seems like that's the most efficient way to get heat into the truck. I was thinking about wiring up an inverter But I don't know if a single battery is going to be enough for that. I don't know. I don't know enough about inverters. From what I've gathered from other people, they say, "Oh, you're not going to have enough power to run that inverter." I'm like, "What are you talking about? There's nothing in this truck. It doesn't have anything except for the basic necessities, and none of those are really taking up much power. I mean, the alternator is going to be maybe a fuel pump, but I got the mechanical fuel pump. I don't really plan on changing that. I would like to change it, but if it works, it works. I might as well just leave it alone. Everything works as it should, engine wise. So the only thing that's going to be drawing a whole lot of fucking power would be the starter, and that's only sometimes. So I'm thinking if I get an inverter or something, I could get that plugged in there, and I can get a little space heater. I can find one that I can maybe kind of manipulate and try to build some sort of a shroud for it. Now, this sounds kind of dangerous, maybe. I don't know. But I left a spot on the dash that I want to put a vent. But I want to make it all custom. I want to make like a vent. So I could put this heater core, or not heater core, but even if I do the heater core, I could do some other crazy shit. Get some of that expanding corrugated tube or whatever, like a dryer vent hose or something, maybe a smaller one, and just run it up to a shroud to either an electric space heater, which might, yeah, like I don't know, space heaters are dangerous, but like, what's it gonna burn? I don't plan on really putting carpet in the truck. Maybe I will. That'll help it stay warmish. But I don't know. Like, just get me a space heater and I just flip on the inverter and then boom, it's like heating up the truck. I don't need AC. I've never had AC in anything. Even my 2014 Cruise that I had, the AC went out on it. I like riding with the windows down, and especially if I'm driving to 79 and I don't give a shit how fucking hot it is. I'm running with the windows down. I got power windows for a reason in that bitch. I'm gonna power them windows down, and I'm gonna be blaring on my new speakers. I got them out of a like a 2019 Ford. What is those police cars? They're not Crown Vic anymore. Taurus. Somebody junked a Taurus, a brand new fucking Taurus. Not brand new, but it's a pretty nice fucking Taurus. They had all the the good speaker system and all that shit in there. Now I think I did fuck up. I just looked it up the other day or yesterday because I was running around. I was looking for an LED or something because I needed to put that in line with the alternator wire or whatever, so it wouldn't backfeed. Just because ChatGPT told me to, and I found the little. It was a little capacitor looking thing that came off of the speakers. Whenever I was cutting the speaker housing up and everything to make it work and everything, I saw that and I was like, oh, I don't know what that is, but I don't need that. So I cut it out, got rid of it. Turns out that was actually to like help not get back sound or whatever. I don't know what it's even called, but you'll get sound fed into your speakers. I guess if you don't have a good ground or something, I don't know. It would have made the speakers sound a whole lot better from what I gathered looking it up using the Google Lens because I took a picture of it. I was like, "What the fuck is this thing?" And it was like, "Oh, that goes to like newer car speakers to make the sound clarity better or whatever." I'm like, "Oh fuck, I cut this shit out. I cut it off of the damn thing." So I guess there goes that. But the speakers do sound good. I got it, whenever I had it, everything's still wired up. You know, the radio is Bluetooth. It's a really small, little, tiny, cheap ass radio, but the Bluetooth connects quick. I got 3 speakers now, and it sounds really good. I do enjoy it. It doesn't sound. It's not gonna have bass, and I don't want a lot of bass. I don't need fucking everything rattling in that truck. Things are gonna definitely rattle. Um, so Gotta stop at the railroad tracks. Here we are. Stop, go. And I got another railroad track right up here. As soon as I get up to speed, I gotta fucking shut her back down. Um, yeah, so the truck is really rusty. Doesn't leak oil. Doesn't leak anything. It's been sitting in the driveway for a while, and even after running it and stuff, it doesn't leak any oil. It doesn't even smoke. So I'm really happy about that. It's got a Chevy 350 small block. It's a Goodwrench motor, so it's a reman engine. So, and according to the codes that I looked up, I think it could be a high horsepower 4-bolt main. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt somebody put a high horsepower 4-bolt main in this truck and then sold it to me with it still in there running. I think if somebody knew what engine was in that, they would have ripped it out and then junked the truck. Because the truck, honestly, the cab is bad. The cab is worse than it could ever be. You know, it's rusted around the windshield, it's rusted around the firewall, it's rusted around the back glass, it's rusted through the floorboards. The rockers are barely hanging on. The under the seats is all rusted. The cab, surprisingly, I still got the cab mounts are still good, but the little kicker that comes off of the cab mount that holds the fucking side of the cab where it's supposed to be is completely gone. It's gone completely, and somebody made it out of sheet metal for the other side, and they just self-tapped it in there. Well, they had it on both sides. I ripped it out. I haven't cut the floor out of the driver's side yet because it's more convenient for me to wire everything up when I have a floor there. I don't really like to get, you know, cut a whole bunch when I'm working on my truck, but, you know, I'm already getting cut. Uh, little cuts here and there. I got my tetanus shot, so I guess I'm okay. I've got some questionable redness around a couple of spots, but hey, I'll be all right. Anyway, um, we got a full moon this morning. That's crazy looking. I like looking at the moon when you can see it and it's big and bright and good. You know, it's hollow or it's made of cheese. I don't know what's going on with the moon. There's a secret air base in the moon. I've been watching Facebook Reels and they talk about the air base in the moon. Did we land on it? I don't fucking know. Probably not, but maybe we did. What what is it? There's a lot of people behind that fucking conspiracy. Like, there's a lot of people lying, but except for Buzz Aldrin, it's like, what the fuck? Like, Buzz is over there. He's like, we didn't go. We never went. We're not gonna go. And it's like, wait, hold on. Why are you saying that? Are you crazy, old man? What are you talking about, man? Anyways, back to the truck. So my repairs on this truck, I am not making this a show truck. I am not making this even remotely you know, good in any way. I'm going to try to make it to where air doesn't come in the truck from multiple different areas when you're driving it. I'm gonna and honestly, if the cab is a little fucking unconnected in spots, that gives you more articulation. So I'm gonna say that I'm probably if I the first time I take it out and go off roading with it, and I start flexing on the motherfucker, I'm probably gonna blow out my windshield and pop out my rear window, and just the doors will never shut again, or they'll never open again. I don't know. Something bad is gonna happen as soon as I articulate that motherfucker with how flimsy everything is. But I think I'm gonna strengthen it up a little bit. So I have these giant sheets of uh, aluminum. They're made out of aluminum, but they're thick aluminum. I'm gonna kind of cut it and form it to make it fit in as a floor pan. And then I got rivets, and I'm gonna rivet that motherfucker down. I'm gonna put some of that panel bond. After I get all the holes drilled and everything is ready to go, I'm gonna get some panel bond, put it around the outside of where I'm replacing, you know, missing metal, and then rivet that motherfucker down every inch so it'll be nice and secure. Um, but it's not. None of this is going to be structural. I think with the cab mounts being as structural as they are, that's good. Who needs rockers? What do they do? What are they there for? Who knows? I don't give a shit. Fuck the rockers. As long as I don't see too much daylight, that's all I really care about. And I have a fuckload of this aluminum, so I'm probably gonna just try to bend it and form it to make a fake rocker over there, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine, guys. Who gives a shit? It's an old junk truck that should have had all the drivetrain removed and saved for something better, and the rest of it should have been junk. The bed is bad. The bed is also not great. But anyways, the I'm just going to kind of piece it together with little bits of shit that I have laying around. I'm not doing a show truck. I'm not doing a fast truck. I'm not doing a safe truck. This is going to be more like a go-kart that you can drive on the highway. I mean, it's going to be as strong as it's ever going to be. I think I might, I don't want to say I'm going to do this because it's not going to happen for a very long time if it does happen, if I can find enough scrap tubing, but I'd like to put a cage in the damn thing. I mean, the thing is already stripped down and going to be totally custom as much as I can. I might as well cage the bitch. And it's just going to be like a mud truck that you can drive around. Cage the motherfucker, weld that straight to the fucking frame. Who needs bushings? You got suspension, you got leaf springs. Those will fucking cushion any of your bumps that you need. You don't need bushings for your cab mounts. I'm gonna just make that to where nothing will ever move, nothing will ever come off. That's what I guess would be my goal with this truck, is just to make it. You can roll the motherfucker and then drive it home. At least in theory. I don't know. I don't. Hopefully the axles and all that shit will hold up. I do want to go through and like all the drivetrain and all that shit. I'd like to make that all really good. The axles, the bearings, the bushings, the steering components. Um, Maybe even try to put in some sort of what is it called? A four link? Not quite four link. Just what are they called? You got the two bars coming to the back axle, long link suspension. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but I think I could fabricate some shit up, maybe, and maybe it won't hold very great, but I can try. I can do whatever the fuck I want. In America. I'm an American, and I got me a square body, and I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want with it. The dash was already cut up to begin with, and I cut more out of it. I know a lot of guys are like, "Don't cut the dash out of the square body." Dude, the dash is rusted. I mean, everything is restorable, basically, but I'm sorry, that's just not the case for this truck. I cut the fuck out of the dash. The dash is no longer good. I mean, you could still put it back to original. Everything that I cut is behind plastic or whatever, the original plastic. Now everything's metal, aluminum diamond plate, which I might swap that out to some other this other aluminum flat sheeting, because I think the diamond plate is really shiny, and if the sun comes in the back window or the side window, I'm going to have the sun blasting me in the face from multiple different directions. You ever seen those old ladies sitting on a beach with those 3-pan mirrors? That's what I got in front of me. But it's got a bunch of diamonds, so I don't have to get it pointed exactly at the sun. The sun will find my face on its own. So I might swap out the diamond plate, uh, which really sucks because I used up all of my diamond plate that I had. I had a bunch of this, well, not a bunch, but I had a nice collection of aluminum diamond plate, and I fucked up some of it. Um, trying to build it. Sorry, I gotta pause this real quick. I'll talk to you in a second. Sorry, they usually get the gate open for me, but I had to go over there and call them. Anyways, I used up all of my nice diamond plate that I had. And it's there's enough of it left that I could probably do something with some of it, but I don't know. I'm just happy I got all these other sheets of aluminum that I can use to kind of rebuild the interior of this truck. Now, I guess I do kind of want to put carpet in there. I want to put this aluminum, cut out all the bad rust, put the rust converter shit on there for all the good metal that's still solid. Paint everything, go underneath the truck, get it all cleaned up and painted, make everything super nice. Get these panels or these big aluminum pans put back into the truck, panel bonded. Uh, what are those fucking things called? Riveted in. Then line everything with some sort of, I guess, body liner or I don't know, the roll-on shit, and just go crazy on the whole interior of the cab. Get the dash kind of painted up, one color, because it's got a different glove box and it's been painted 18 times already. And I don't know, I'm thinking about magnets for the ceiling. Get some sort of like American flag magnet I can just put up there, or just get in. I have a bunch of American flags laying around. I could probably get one and tack it up to the ceiling, and just kind of make this truck completely custom to an extent. Put a little bit of a lift on it, get a little bit bigger tires for it. It's got 33s on there right now. I'd like to go with 35s and a very small lift. One of the bad things about the truck right now is that it's got a body lift on it, which is inconvenient. I'm not really a big fan of body lifts. I do like the amount of ground clearance I've got, just body wise, I guess. It's not real clearance. Um, but it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. All right, get this fucking thing backed up in here without hitting anybody. Here we go. Backing it up. Nice. Stab it. No pull forwards here. We're doing it all in one shot. I just got to back around a corner that's kind of tight because there's a light pole there, and then there's a culvert on the other side that'll fucking pop your tire if you hit it. And then you got to back up about, I don't know, 100 feet. Not 100 feet. I guess maybe 100 feet. Back up to the frac tanks, and we're here. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited about the square body. I got a bed slider for it that I got. My work was throwing them away, which is crazy because they're expensive. They are used. They're a lot of guys. What happened was that the guys would start. They loaded them up with gravel with the bed sliders mounted in the trucks, and they just fucked everything up. It's like, why would you put gravel on top of a bed slider? It's going to get underneath and under the rails, and it's going to make it a bitch. So they removed the bed sliders, and I took 2 of them home. And I will say, I sold one. I sold one of them to a guy, and that was able to help me get a dirt bike and some other things. That was awesome. Or no, that was to get my truck back. I don't know what it was. Anyways, so I got a big bed slider, and Kletus Roadside Service. The reason that kind of started up is because I always talked about making this truck kind of a service rig, which can still happen. But I had a generator, I had a pressure washer, And I still have some of the stuff. I have an air compressor, and then I was thought about, if I ever come across a welder or something, and I decide to throw another battery in there, or maybe another alternate. I don't know. I don't know how to wire all that shit up. But anyways, just kind of make this a service truck with a big bed slider on it that can hold, 1,800 pounds or whatever the fuck it was at full extent. Slide that motherfucker out, and I could just drive around. And if somebody is broke down on the side of the road, you know, I do feel bad when I see somebody with a flat tire, but I usually don't have anything to help them with, so I just drive on by. I'm like, you got a cell phone? It's creepy for me to stop, but if I wire this motherfucker up to have all this equipment on there, I see somebody broke down, I'm probably gonna have something to help you out, get you fixed up, get you back on the road, uh, free of charge, I guess, to an extent, depending on what you blew your transmission, bud. I can tow you home. I got chains. Um, Especially in like wintertime. But if I decide to start driving trails and stuff, I mean, these guys go out on trails all the time. It's like, oh, you want to air down your tires? Air them down. I got an air compressor. You air them back up when you're done. Oh, you broke your control arm. Well, I got tools. I got air tools. I got welder. I got everything. You're covered in mud. I got a little bit of a water tank here and a pressure washer. Just kind of cool stuff that I can mount in the bed of a truck, and it'll always be there. I was thinking about getting a camper shell also for it if I found one. But the more I look on Facebook Marketplace, I see these slide in campers for truck beds. And I'm like, that would be so fucking cool to have a slide in bed camper on my square body. That would be fucking amazing. And I could redo the whole interior of that thing. And then we could go out camping. I could take the kids. What I can add another seat belt in there, and then we could all ride on the bench seat all the way to camping. I don't think they can ride in the camper while I'm driving. Maybe they can. I don't know. But anyways, I don't know. I don't know the exact way the truck is going to go. Obviously, what I really want is probably not going to happen, which is fine. But I do have the truck, and I am getting closer to getting it wired up. The basic wiring of this truck. I'm learning here, guys. I know I'm not the greatest, and I don't think anybody's going to learn anything from me. But if you want to follow along with the journey, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, give me a rating, leave a comment, tell me about your project, tell me about your dreams. And also, I haven't done it lately, but I'm going to start doing these polls. I did one, but I don't think anybody saw it. But you got to scroll down past on Spotify at least. You got to scroll down past the comment section, and there'll be a poll there sometimes. And I'm going to put a poll in. Maybe I'm going to try to remember to do that. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But remember to just scroll past the comment section and see if there's a poll down there, and you can just hit a button and leave a little trace of you being here. Anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. I've been fucking blabbing on for a while. Got to get out and load this motherfucker up. Adios. Keep all 18 down. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.